setting. Practice setting. More and more places are going down to this road where it's going to be, 5 seconds. You have 5 seconds. They're going to put a timer on you now, right, to release the dice. You should be able to set and grip in 5 seconds. Not one of you who dice sets should take longer than that. It's so easy to do. To get the dice coming back to you, see what they are, set them up, and get them ready. One, talking about practice. And practice, I say, makes you imperfect. Like craps, roulette, all these games. Gambling is imperfect. Not for the casino. For you, it's imperfect, right? You know they have the edge, right? The house always wins. They don't win every time, but they win over time. And I think that's the thing. We talked about house edge a while back, and you can really see how you dwindle and bleed it out, right? They make their money over massive time. They live on the law of big numbers. They always win. It's imperfect. You can't beat them. There's no advantage anymore. Like maybe some sports bettors have an advantage the way that they arbitrage their bets. Potentially blackjack card counters can have an advantage, but there's so many countermeasures on that now. You can almost say that's gone by the wayside as well. So the thing we got to do is this: avoid pitfalls and mistakes, because you want to keep the house edge what it is. I don't want to ever give the casino, if I'm playing whatever, let's say you're playing blackjack and you got, a 0.5% house edge on your bets when you're playing basic strategy. Don't do something to ruin that. Like, don't make a bad play. Don't go, I'm not going to hit the 16 against the 10, right? Don't make that choice because you're scared. You make the play, right? When you make a bad decision like that, you increase the house edge, and that bad decision making, the dumb bet that you can make, or always making the sucker bets, always putting the buck on the stupid bonus and whatever the hell that blackjack bonus stuff is, right? Or whatever. Those things increase the house edge, and it shortens their time. The casino needs, let's say, 1 million rolls to make a profit on you, or whatever the number ends up being, whatever that is, right? You start making sucker bets and making dumb decisions or scared decisions, you shorten their time to take your money. We don't want to do that, right? So practice everything, right? We don't want to bet the feels. I feel like, and sure, sometimes you're going to not want to hit the 16, and you're going to end up standing and the dealer breaks. And you're like, see, I was so smart there. You bet the feels, and then 6 hands in a row, the shoe gets jacked up, and you lose your money four times in a row because of that one card you put out of position, right? That's the kind of things you cannot do. Basic strategy is built on that, on people not doing that, right? You don't want to miss a move, right? In especially games like craps and roulette, where you're doing extra things, you want to miss out on something. You want to make a bad decision because you're distracted or because you forgot where you are. Don't miss a move, right? Don't have bad math in your way of a press or a chase or a regression. Know what the numbers are. Know that you're going to go from 66 to 88 to 44. Don't be guessing about that. Don't be guessing about what the $20 9 pays. Know that it pays 28. Know that you can drop 2 for 30, or know that you can regress it back down to $10 and know what's coming back to you. You got to know what those things are, right? And again, if you're bad on your profit and loss assessment, you forget what's in your rack. You look down, you go, okay, I think I got 360 in the rack. I think I got 210 out here. That feels like I got a profit of $40. You better know what you got. You better know what those numbers add up to so you can make your right decisions. Okay, that's very important. Every mistake that you make is magnified because your time is short. The casino says, okay, cool, 90, this many less wins off this guy to make my money. When you make a bad move, it can be catastrophic, especially in the moment, right? So don't magnify your mistakes and make their house edge bigger unnecessarily, okay? Again, they win on very small margins over a long period of time. Okay, don't willingly enlarge their margins, and that's the reason why we want to practice. Okay, and I say this, I am a machine, right? Your strategy, know your strategy like back of that hand, right? Blackjack, you better know your basic strategy and have it down on lock. Have it on lock. There's trainer apps that you can download for free. It'll throw you blackjack hands. It'll throw you as many as you can do. And you go hit stand, and just because right, wrong. And you can just train yourself to get that unlocked. You can never make a mistake You can never make a mistake in basic strategy. If you're a card counter, right, there are variations from basic strategy that card counting will lead you down. Certain double downs you do or don't do. Certain splits you do or don't do based on the shoe thickness. But you got to know that stuff, and you got to be on lock. You got to be okay. The running count is 3. I got a 6. He's got a 4. You got to know what's happening. You got to know, right? Without making any mistakes. My next bet is going to be X when I win. It's going to be X. You got to have that ready. Have your stacks ready. Like, have your if I lose chips and if I win chips sitting here, right? I'm a big fan, by the way, of whatever I'm playing, blackjack, roulette, whatever it is, in those kind of games, and roulette especially, pull your bets down. They pay you, it all comes back, and I have my stacks ready to go back out with. And I rebet with new money, with new chips, pull my stuff down, and I reset everything. Like, that's an important way to not make a mistake, right? Know what your initial spreads and subsequent moves are. It's really important, right? Know your payouts, okay? On most games, 1-to-1, no big deal, right? But what is a 3-to-2 blackjack 35-hour bet pay? You got to know that, so you're not getting jacked up on your win. You got to know what these things pay, right? Very important, and you can break it down, right? 30 pays 45. The extra 5 pays 750, right? You're getting 52.50. You got to know what's coming when those things happen. If you have to break it down like that, fine. Get it broke down and figure it out, okay? And again, have it here. I want you to practice winning. Practice winning. If you've got chips, practice winning. Put a bet out there. Pay yourself the win so you know what it looks like coming back. If you watch any videos from David over at Casino Quest, he talks about how hard it is to deal craps, and it is hard because the payouts are all over the place. He's always dealing with colors and units, right? He says, a green gets a green and 2 reds. Like, he doesn't care about what it's worth. It's not $35 to him. It's a green and 2 reds, right? That's how the dealers look at it. You should look at it the same way. When I have this bet out there, I'm expecting back a green and 2 reds. And you better look down and see if that's what you got, right? Practice winning. What are the checks and chips that you're getting paid back look like when they come to you? So you know they got it right, number 1, and you know where you're putting that money, number 2. It's important, right? If you're going to be pressing or laddering stuff up, have your next bet ready. Okay. Again, if I got a $12 6 and I'm getting back, let's say, it's going to pay $14, right? I'm either going to drop a couple of bucks to press it up, right? Or I know that I'm going to regress it back down or pull it back off, right? I know that I'm either, or if it loses, rather, I've got $18 sitting here. So I have $18 ready to go if it loses to ladder the loss. I've got $2 to throw out there if it wins to bump the bet up or whatever it is, right? You got in your head or in your rack, you got to have your next set of chips or checks ready for what's going to go out on the table. That's an important bit. Have it ready so you can't screw it up. Here's my whites. Here's my next bet if I lose. And if it happens, boom, boom, the right stuff goes out there. That's very important to do that. Know your next move and have your next move prepped. And you can do it in every game. Every game I do that, right? If I'm playing blackjack, I got a $25 bet out there. I have $35 sitting right in front of me, and I got $10 in front of me. So if that bet loses, the $10 goes out. If that bet wins, I take my win and I slide up to $35. Like, I'm ready. I'm never stacking on top of what's there in those games. I've got my next 2 bets, my loss bet, my win bet, ready to go. It's very helpful and helps you stay out of your own way, gets you out of your own head. In craps, like I said, get your rail ready. If you're playing craps, get your rail ready. Have your next your if you're going to power press, have your white chips or your red chips out there for each number ready to go. If you're going to ladder losses, have your ladder amount sitting there ready to go so you can drop it right out and get it going. Make sure you know what you're dropping on a win. Make sure that you track your rack, what you are doing next. I say this too, practice the words. I say right here, use your words. Like we tell our kids, use your words. What does that mean? That means if your next bet is going to be from a $12 6 to an $18 6, and you're going to drop money, or you're going to take your win or whatever, what are you telling the dealer? Right? Make it look like 18. Take my 6 and 8 both to 18, please. Make them both look like 18. Make sure you're going to say what you want to say that the dealer understands. And do it in home. When you're playing with Crapsy, even though you're clicking buttons to make the bets, say it out loud. Make the 6 and 8 look like 18. Drop $1. Make it look like 25 on the 5. Let me take the 4 and 10, please, for 10 each. Make sure you say it before you click it. Get used to saying the words out loud so at the game, you got it, right? You know what's happening. You're not making any mistakes. If you're a dice setter, I'll show you some drills over here. Practice your setting. Practice setting. More and more places are going down to this road where it's going to be, 5 seconds. You have 5 seconds. They're going to put a timer on you now, right? To release the dice. You should be able to set and grip in 5 seconds. Not one of you who dice sets should take longer than that. It's so easy to do, to get the dice coming back to you, see what they are, set them up, and get them ready. It's not hard. The grip is the hardest part of that. 5 seconds should be easy. Drop a bunch of random ass dice out there, pull them back 2 at a time, and practice, practice, practice. Practice your toss, right? If you're a setter, practice your throw. Make sure you can get all that done in 5 to 8 seconds and film yourself doing it. Film yourself. Look at your release. Look at your landing zone. Track the good ones. Out of 100 throws, 7 of them I would consider perfect. The other 93 are horseshit. Okay, this is an important thing, and I tell my dice setting friends this all the time, right? When I track throws, when I'm looking at actual statistical tracking, okay, I track 2 things. One is I track the percentage of throws that did what I wanted them to do. In other words, it was a good release, right landing zone, right action off the wall. How many times out of 100 did I get what I wanted to see happen? Now, of those, what were the results? Because honestly, if it's a bad release, if it's a cockeyed throw, if it's, whatever, there's no control anyway. So you got to throw those results away and say, look, those were random results. 97% of the time, I'm random. And that's fine. Embrace that. Most of the time, I'm going to be random. The question is, in the ones where you're not random, where you exerted what you think is control, on those, how was your results? I record those things. I record all the results, obviously, but I record those 2 as separates, right? I want to increase from 4 to 7 to 10 to 11% of the time I get off a good throw. I'm not even there. I'm at, maybe on a good day, I'm at 11% of the time my throws are what I would consider to be a good one. Most of my throws are garbage. And I have to realize that, right? The good ones, most of the time, those are 7s for me too, right? But that's the thing. What are you tracking if you're a dice setter? This is the things you got to practice and log and put it all down. If you don't do that, if you're just going to set throw and think every throw is amazing, or you're whatever, you're fooling yourself. Be a machine with the whole thing. That's an important bit to it, okay? On roulette, the same thing, right? It's a tougher game than blackjack and baccarat, easier than craps to some degree. The problem with roulette, like craps, you got a crowded ass table. There's people everywhere. There's, right? At least you've got different colored checks or chips, right? But practice your money management. Practice your stack management. Like on roulette, you might have a lot of bets out there, right? Have a stack of like whatever it is for you. 13 chips. Maybe that's your spread. Have your 13 chips. Practice where they go. Get your move down. Get your move down. And don't just do it from here. Get your moves down at roulette from every spot, right? If you can do it at your kitchen table, you can buy roulette felt on Amazon for $70. Get a roulette felt, stick it on your kitchen table, and literally stand there and go boom, 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 boom. And why you do that? Because you're reaching over people all the time. You got to reach through people. If you're betting the first, second, and third streets or something like that from the end of the table, how are you going to get there, right? You got to practice getting your bets out there fast and cleanly, right? That's a big part of roulette, is getting your stuff correct, right? Work from all the spots. Have your next bet ready. I always say this. If I'm going to put 13 chips out there, I got 13 chips in a stack, right? If I win, I'm going to scoop back that win into my pile, take the 13 that I had ready and put them back out there, take my breath, reset my stacks, right? That's the good rhythm for roulette. Take your win back, place your bets, and then tinker afterwards. But again, work roulette from everywhere, because all the spots have a different reach, have a different vibe, have a different way to get to them. And it's important that you're paying attention to that. I think it's to me, these are the things to me that help you level up in terms of not making that mistake, right? And if we go back to that very first screen that I had talked about here, avoiding pitfalls and mistakes by not getting your roulette bets out there properly, by taking too long, or by using your wins and trying to spread shit out, you might miss a bet. Don't make a mistake like that. Don't increase a 5.5 house edge to 7% because you did something dumb, right? If your strategy requires X amount of coverage and you got, X minus 4 because you missed the bet, and that's the number, it's going to, that number's coming out, right? Fate, right? Make sure you don't increase their edge on you. Don't give them a magnification by you making a mistake. That's, I think, the most important thing. It's an imperfect practice. Gambling is imperfect for you, not for them. Don't make it more imperfect than it already is. And that's why we practice. That's why my wife's like, why do you have to have a craps table? Why do you need a full-size craps table in your basement? Because I practice. And I'm not just practicing my throw. I'm practicing everything. I'm practicing all of it. My calls, right? I'm practicing the chip rail. I get it all, so that when I'm at the casino and we're there, we can have a good time. I can bullshit with you and tell jokes and high five and do my drinking and all the things, because everything else is on such lockdown for me. I don't think about it. It's just on rhythm. I got it. I know my calls. I know my chips. Everything's all set up, and I never make a mistake. That's where you got to be. You want to be a pro? Don't make any mistakes. You'll lose a lot less in the long run. So, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave us a comment here in the comment section for the video, but really better still, join us on Discord. Go to casinogaming.tv and hit the community link in the menu there and join our Discord. That's where me, other YouTubers, and all of our subscribers hang out. We sit there and talk strategy and just BS kind of all day long. It's a great way to get connected and stay connected and kind of interact with the team, learn about meetups and get-togethers and all that kind of stuff. So with all that said, again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one.